Welcome to folks that are online and folks who will watch this presentation later. My name is Dr. Lisa Greenhill. I am the Chief Organizational Health Officer at AAVMC, and I also serve as the National Advisor for Voice. This year, in an effort to provide some national scope programming as well as offer some continuity in programming during a time when a lot of folks maybe have questions about what kinds of programs can we do as local chapters. I wanted to provide some programming that you can use locally, that you can participate in real time if you choose. I just really kind of wanted to offer options for voice chapters here, as well as students abroad who may be also interested in this content. The programs that I have scheduled for the fall I'm very excited about them. I'm already starting to think about some programming for the spring semester as well. And the recordings will be available within a week or so, hopefully after the sessions, on the Voice YouTube page. And so we'll make those available to voice chapters to use, again, as programming, or if you're just interested in hearing more about the sessions that are being offered. So tonight's session is on Vetahumanz, the program run by my dear friend and colleague, Dr. Sandra San Miguel from Purdue University's College of Veterinary Medicine. And I could say many, 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 many amazing things about my dear friend. But I'm going to put a pin in it and get out of the way and let the Pink Phoenix, and I'm sure she'll tell you about her name. I am Captain Inclusion in the alternate universe that she's about to tell you about. But I'm going to get out of the way and let Dr. San Miguel do her thing.
Great. Thank you, Captain Inclusion. And thank you to those who are in attendance. I really appreciate you taking the time out. I know it is really tough to be a vet student. I've done it. And I know your time is valuable. So I really appreciate you attending. And those of you that are listening, thank you for taking the time out as well. I'm here to talk about a program that has been in existence for a long time now, and for the past 5 years turned into a superhero league, and I would love for you to get involved. I'm pretty casual when I speak, so if you have any questions, just interrupt at any time. If I start talking too much, say, oh, talking too much, go to the next slide. Okay? I'll tell you a little bit about myself, because I think it maybe informs why I've done this. I grew up in Baltimore, city kid, came to Purdue because I wanted to be a professor because I had an incredibly powerful role model in undergrad when I gave people every excuse to give up on me, and they didn't. And there were always teachers, guidance counselors, and this professor specifically, who made sure that I could pay my rent and I had food to eat during college, and that I stayed the course every time that I tried to leave and give up. So because of all of those people, I decided I wanted to be a professor, a teacher. And I wanted, the only course that I liked at school ever was wood shop, metal shop. I like building things. So, and I liked animals. So we decided veterinary medicine would be a good profession because I could work with animals, and I decided I wanted to be a dog surgeon because surgery seemed a lot like shop, so I thought I would probably like it. And I thought veterinary medicine would also be good because the students that were in vet school were really smart and dedicated, not like me, so they would be fun to teach. So that's how I picked vet school. I was going to be a dog surgeon, got into Purdue, and they turned me into a hog vet. So, 2 years after I graduated, spent my a lifetime in school. I became severely allergic to dogs and cats and went through multiple doctors, but they ended up with avoidance was my course of action. I was able to practice pig for 15 years and it was wonderful before that caught up with me. And then in 2008, I had to make a big career change. But veterinary medicine's amazing because it teaches you all the skills and strategies to navigate challenges. And I think that's the most important part of vet college. Uh, and I was fortunate to get funding from the National Institutes of Health. And instead of growing hogs, I started growing veterinarians. I started working with kids. And that evolved into the League of Vetahumanz, which is the superhero league that we will talk about today. And that's myself and Captain Inclusion in front of the Supreme Court building, the week before our country shut down from COVID.
I
And I
had
had
not
given
thought
my
about
phone
that.
to
Wow.
strangers to take this picture.
As an aside, I did not even realize that that was that week, but yeah, you're right.
That was that
You
week. We
gave,
had some of the
yeah.
last flights out of DC. So I'm going to take you back to the beginning because I think the history is important. I think the why is important. So our very first grant from NIH was to work with kids, and I had middle school, elementary school, and high school kids as the focus. But we ended up narrowing it down to elementary school. And the research supported this because most or many adults are in careers that they decided on when they were kids. And at the time, most of the programs to interest kids in veterinary medicine started in high school or college. There were a couple middle school, but nobody was paying attention to the little ones. So we partnered with teachers. And NIH gave us a lot of money. I had about $10,000 for every classroom. And I went and bought everything I could find about veterinary medicine, all the books, science models, everything I could find, and put it in these classrooms. And the teachers wrote the curriculum. I acted like a content expert to make sure it was accurate, but they wrote and delivered the curriculum. And you can see we had science fairs, we hatched chicks, that we had lots of books. And of course, professors, so I have to do research. So we did pre and post testing of what the kids wanted to be when they were an adult. I was like, oh, this is fantastic, right? The kid that wanted to work at White Castle now wants to be a vet. Working at McDonald's wants to be a teacher. The ninja wants to be a scientist. We have another vet. And I'll never forget the little girl who said she wanted to work at the dentist's office. And at the end, she said, I want to be the dentist. And we're, yeah, right? We're winning. And there were so many more, but they won't all fit on the slide. And there was one kid, T, and he would not go to recess and he wouldn't go to lunch. He stayed behind and he read every single book that I had bought during the course of that module. And we're like, yes, we've got him. He wants to be a vet. But in the post test, he checked off that he didn't want to be a veterinarian. And when we asked him why, this is what he said. And he was absolutely right. And he's the third grader who changed my life. So we totally pivoted and we're like, no, we're gonna make sure that every child feels like they belong to veterinary medicine, that every child can see themselves as a veterinarian. So we flipped and we had the veterinarians and veterinary students and veterinary nurses become the role models and deliver the curriculum. And the teachers teach us how to work with children, how to work in schools, how to uh, give a positive, supportive experience to young children. So that was the first 5 years, figuring that out. Because it takes a while to get smart, right? You have to make lots of mistakes. So the second 5 years, we're like, hey, we think we have a good thing here. Let's try and scale it. But I didn't have $10,000 for every classroom. So I brought my team together and I said, okay, let's turn our curriculum and create a new one where all you need are people and a copy machine to get this out. And then once the curriculum is where it lands, people can add resources if they have those resources. But we want to make sure every kid has the opportunity. So we pretty much made a 56 lesson curriculum. It's vet school for kindergarten through fourth graders. So it goes through, you got anatomy, physiology, we have some career exploration, we have the healthy animal, we have health challenges. And we went through all the years. We have little fake surgeries that they do. They get to intubate a dog model. So we did all of these things. And then, because we wanted to scale it, we still wanted to make sure that we maintained our core values. So we have a role model certification that's free, it's online, you do it at your own pace, but we wanted to make sure that everyone who was representing our program delivered it in an age-appropriate and culturally responsive manner. And at the end of the online modules, you can either write an essay or you can make an infographic, and that lets us know that you're certified on our end. Then you get access to the curriculum. And the curriculum is pretty much a step-by-step guide of how to deliver it. You have a little checklist of what you need to bring, how many photocopies you need to make. Do you need glue sticks for this one? Do you need scissors? Everything you need to put in your box. It has the academic standards. So if you are going into a school, you can say, this helps you. These teachers have an incredibly packed schedule and they have to meet all of these requirements every day. So we can say we can work with you and help you meet those requirements for science, for math, for English language arts. And you have your learning objectives. This is a lesson, snakes, turtles, and tortoises. We also give you a procedure. So step by step, what you will do once you walk in the door. And there's a guide that wraps even around all these lessons. And then we have a script because, I don't know if you've worked with kids, but 21st graders can be scary. They can be intimidating. They have no filters. They will ask you questions that will shock you, and you will learn everything about their families and every person that they have interacted with in great detail. So, but it's good. It develops your skills. It makes you even more prepared, and you can build a relationship with these kids. So we have a script. So if you choke, because in the beginning, everybody chokes, you can read it. And then as you get more comfortable and build those relationships, you make that script your own. You take the content and you make it interactive and you put it in your own language. And if you have a fourth grader, you might have 20 minutes where you can talk before an activity. And if it's a kindergartner, you might have 20 seconds that you can talk before you need to get them moving and doing something. So you need to tailor it. And the intent of the script is just so you have something uh, to kind of stabilize you. It's not that you have to go through and read every single word or make sure all of that content gets delivered. Uh, it's a guide for your conversation to build that relationship. If you only get through one sentence, but you have a wonderful time with the kids, that's fantastic. It's not the content that really matters in this program. It's developing the trust, developing a relationship in the community, making that child feel supported. And then we have a little activity. This is they learn about what snakes need, and then they get to make a snake home and talk about why all these things are important to care for their snake. Once we developed it, our model is we develop it locally and then we test it locally. If we make it as best possible as we can locally, then we disseminate it and test it in different areas because every community has different needs, different people, different kids, and we want to make sure that they are all learning no matter what the context is, and also make it adaptable to and flexible to communities and venues where it might be delivered. So we gave grants to veterinary colleges, and it held up. We showed that kids were learning, they were engaged. So then we got a little fancy and we started making books. And the books are all, it's the same book in English and Spanish. You just have to flip it over. And they have all health issues. They're all focused on health issues and health conditions or topics that people and animals share. And there's always a centerfold of a real live vet. And we started making some games. So we have Pump talks about the circulatory system, and Flew Out talks about vaccines and influenza. And you can see that no fun is had at any of these sessions. We are very serious about this work. So this brings us to today. This is going to be a really short talk if we don't have questions. So this is the past 5 years. And we wanted to expand the program. And at the time, the NIH wanted people to develop STEM ecosystems. So the title of my grant, I think, was Creating a Veterinary STEM Ecosystem. Now, who wants to join a veterinary STEM ecosystem? Like, to me, that sounded like the most boring thing in the world. So I was like, okay, we're gonna start a superhero league. Everyone wants to be a superhero, right? So I put it up on my Facebook and said, hey, do you want to join the superhero league just to see what would happen? And I got a tremendous response. It was pretty cool. I think I put it up New Year's Day or New Year's Eve. So it was going to be my big thing to start the league. And the league, over time, I said we all make mistakes, we learn. I had always felt it was about the content because NIH wants us to build veterinary scientists and getting kids positioned for higher education. But I found that the relationships were the most important. If you had the relationships, you could support the child's learning and they were internally motivated to learn. So this focused on the relationships. And we expanded it beyond veterinary colleges to veterinarians in all different aspects of our field. So they could be in academia, it could be veterinary students, it could be practicing veterinarians, in the government, in industry, in research, in practice, private, corporate, every place that there's a veterinarian. And they could work with an organization in their community to deliver this curriculum. And we based it on two things. The first was social cognitive career theory. And that is you want to give kids a sense of belonging to the profession. And as I said, we do that with our role models, being welcoming, being supportive. The second piece is self-efficacy, that I can be a vet. I might not want to be a vet, but if I do choose to be a vet, I can be a vet, or I can be whatever I want to be. And that's with our STEM activities, our veterinary science activities. These are challenging for the kids, and they feel a great sense of accomplishment when they work through that with you standing by them. They're like, yeah, I can do this. And that builds confidence for the next challenge that they have. And then hopefully that leads to seeding career expectations. Hey, you know, these people care about me and I can do this work and it's kind of fun. So maybe I want to be a scientist. Maybe I want to be a veterinarian or veterinary technician. And then the second piece of that is the Batman effect, which is this amazing research that I wish I would have come up with, but I did not. And it works for kids and it also works for grown-ups. If you take on an alter ego, and with kids it was the persona of a superhero, they focus better, they learn more, and they problem solve faster and better. And that's because you lose any personal insecurities. You actually transform yourself into another being. And the work with the kids was great. They had little kids doing really hard stuff and pretending, it gets its name because one of the kids pretended to be Batman. And they said, how did you solve this problem? It was really hard. And the kid said, Batman did it this way. So he had totally become Batman to attack the problem. So that was the basis for the lead. We give out capes to our role models and our kids, and they become superhero veterinarians. So we've certified role models all over the world, and each team partners with a school or a community organization that supports under-resourced children to deliver the curriculum. And we're a little different. We don't just go out once a year on career day and they never see us again. Like I've been emphasizing, it's about the relationships. So we ask that our teams go out at least once a month so the kids can get to know them. And you don't have to have the same person go out, but at least a member of your team goes out. The kids notice this. At Purdue, we try to go weekly. I'm actually coming, as I said, live from Miller Elementary. I am embedded in the elementary school. So I teach science 2 days a week at this school. And they see me every single day. We also have the opportunity where our Vetahumans can share their stories virtually. And I hope everyone has a chance to check out our webpage and read some of the wonderful stories about our participants. We've certified probably thousands of role models. We have close to 1,000 active right now. We have supported 35 teams in 25 states, and we have 2 global teams. We've supported teams at 31 veterinary colleges. And we have a podcast as well, where you can follow our Vetahumans, learn about the different Vetahumans, and you can even follow some of the Purdue vet students who became part of this before they started vet school and follow their journey. Superpower packs are something that I will talk about a little in a minute. But I wanted to emphasize that we started this program to support children. And what we found was it has huge benefits for the role models as well, especially students, right? You increase your communication skills. If you can explain euthanasia to a second grader, you are so far ahead of everybody. It also helps you remember why you wanted to be a veterinarian. You know, it's not easy to do what we're doing. and you've accomplished just a huge amount being here. So sometimes you forget that. And it's kind of nice to go into a room and the kids are looking up to you, and they see you as that veterinarian already. You've done something that they can only dream about at this stage in their life. And then because you're building a relationship, you're also doing a lot more than just teaching veterinary science. You're helping them with all of their life's challenges. And the feedback that we get is it improves your well-being. And that holds true not just for students. I was just telling Captain Inclusion, with everything going on right now, I love the end of the day at the elementary school when I'm loading kids up on buses or putting them in the car and they run out of the school and give me a hug, or they want to hold my hand. It just whatever mood you are in. If a kindergartner wants to hold your hand, it makes it the best day ever. So as I said, beyond student life, we encourage our students after they graduate to start teams and continue working in the community. You build that connection. If you can get your practice to buy into it, it makes going to work pretty nice when everyone shares the same values and you're giving back to your community. And we think it, just like with students, will decrease burnout and turnover and improve our well-being. And this is just one of our former students, Nightwolf. He graduated and started a Vetahumanz chapter in Michigan. And this is a photo. They did a whole spread. The Michigan Veterinary Association did a whole spread on him. It was pretty nice to see. And Humane Michigan Veterinary Association, New York State Veterinary Medical Society, they also have seen the value in the program, and they offer their members the opportunity to either be a vetahuman as part of their veterinary association in the state, or to start teams at their practices or workplaces as well. So last superpower packs I'm just going to touch on, because of the time commitment, and there aren't a lot of veterinary colleges, there aren't a lot of veterinarians really in the world compared to other professions. And we wanted to make sure that every kid had access to our programming. So we started superpower packs. And these are backpack size boxes. Since we don't have live role models, we have collectible cards that show the veterinarian as an adult and as a child, because we want kids to visualize themselves as a veterinarian, and kids don't want to grow up to be old people. They just don't. So we want them to see themselves as a vet. We talk about the role models' dreams, their superpowers, and they get an inspirational message on this collectible card. And then the kids get a mission with a letter from the role models, talking about what they do as a veterinarian and something that they have to learn to be successful. Then we include an activity, a game or a book that challenges them to learn what they need to be successful. So for this one, this is our comparative anatomy superpower pack. And we talk about where different muscles and bones are in people and animals, and a movement that the animal does to use that muscle. And then we have the kids imitate that movement. And then find the muscles or bones on their body that help them do that movement. So that's the building self-efficacy. And we still have some of these superpower packs left. If you have a team, you can reach out to us, and for free, you get superpower packs and books to give to the kids that you're working with that they can take home and call their own. So if you have chapters or want to start chapters now, let me know, and I will be sure to get these to your kids while supplies last. And there's no cost to you. The shipping's free. everything's free. So Miller Elementary School is our hub here in Indiana where we develop all the new curriculum, and we have a formal agreement with them and our College of Veterinary Medicine. It was a 5-year agreement. It ends in 2028. When we met, they wanted to partner because their students on the state science scores got a 6.7%. That's out of 100%. 6.7% for science, and they wanted to improve those state scores. And we have been there with the 4th graders for 2 years now. 3, I guess some of them had 3 years, but anyway, 2 years after that 6.7%, and we were the last school, the lowest school in the district. Last year, our 4th graders scored 33.9%, and we were above the corporation average. So we feel pretty good about the kids, and the kids just love science. So I have a new iteration that we've been doing at Miller that's movement-based. So they're moving while they're learning the science topics. We give them superpower packs. And then after school, our veterinary students see these same kids in the community center that's a couple blocks away and teach them the curriculum that we're distributing now, the paper curriculum, and the kids get one-on-one attention as they learn their skills. So they're getting everything that they learn in the classroom reinforced in school with Vetahumanz lessons, and then after school with Vetahumanz lessons. We also are college partners with these organizations and schools to equip the kids with what they need, because it's really hard to focus on school and academics when your basic needs aren't being met. So all our faculty, staff, and students come together when the school says, hey, we don't have school supplies for the classroom. The kids can't do their homework because they don't have pencils. We need socks, we need coats, we need gloves. Our college comes together and we get whatever they need and get it into the school so the kids can focus on learning. And this was just a backpack drive. We filled 500 backpacks with school supplies, so every kid the first day of school got a backpack full of school supplies that they could take home and be able to do their homework. So that kind of wraps up the presentation part. I would love for everybody to start a Vetahumanz League, or for your voice team to partner up with an existing Vetahumanz team that's already at your college, maybe reinvigorate it, take the lead. All of the teams have a faculty member or veterinarian. I am more than willing to, I would love it if the voice chapters took over the teams and took a leadership position and helped your faculty or staff mentor out. At Purdue now, I have fully turned it over to our vet students, and they're just doing an absolutely phenomenal job. So proud of my superheroes. So like I said, it's all free. You get free online certifications. So the team leader just gives me a list of names, email addresses, and the roles. So are you a veterinary student? Are you pre-vet? Are you a faculty member? Are you a veterinarian, vet tech? And we send you the appropriate training materials. Once you're trained, your team will get the curriculum, and the guide for delivery. And it's your responsibility to make sure that only people who are certified have access to that and actually go work with children. And for your community partner, that you work with them to make sure they don't need additional certifications. Some partners need background checks, criminal checks, fingerprinting. That's up to you because it varies with the organization, but you want to make sure that you're meeting your university rules and the community partners requirements for working with minors. And then you can add people to your team at any time. We know that, life happens, and you just send us the names and we'll send you the information to get them certified. And all we ask in return is every time you go on a visit, fill out a little survey or shoot us an email that says, we went on this date, this is where we went, this is how many kids we worked with, and how many role models were there. And we'll put you up on our website as well as having a team. So that's my formal spiel with slides. This has been supported by the National Institute of Health for 15 years. We've just wrapped up our last iteration, and also we are very thankful for the gift money that is keeping us going now that we don't have the federal funds. And this is Wesley to say, be my superhero.
Thank you so much, Dr. San Miguel. So I have a couple of questions to kick us off. Feel free, if you're online, you can either raise your hand to ask a question. If you're shy or just, not really feeling like talking, feel free to drop it in the chat. So there was a program, Dr. San Miguel, called This Is How We Roll. Is This Is How We Roll now Vetahumans?
Yes, it is the same program. Great question. In that middle grant, we called it This Is How We Roll. And then when we turned into a superhero league and opened it up beyond academia, beyond vet colleges, we switched it to the League of Vetahumans.
Okay, great. And also, sometimes it's really hard to get into a school. Certainly being at a university helps grease those wheels, but can you also do something like, can you do programs at maybe churches or houses of worship or Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, They Scouts, Scouts?
Absolutely. We are very flexible. We also realize community needs are different, and all different colleges, you all have different schedules, and your academics take priority. So we're real flexible. You can do before school programs, you can do in-school programs, you can do after-school programs. It can be with a school, it can be with a community organization. We like it to be a nonprofit school, a nonprofit organization, a Title I school. We do help you find a partner, and we will let you know which partners meet our criteria. This is designed for under-resourced communities. So we want to make sure that we're giving kids access who wouldn't otherwise have access. So we can help you find a community partner and make that connection and give you options to reach out and help reach out as well. A lot of times the partners want to talk to us and find out more about the program, and we're happy to meet with those partners. I do check out all the websites and mission statements and values to make sure that they're consistent with the values of the league before we will approve a partner.
We know that there are lots of shortage areas for veterinarians in the US, certainly not just the US. This is a kind of global issue as well in terms of rural communities. How have you had programs kind of situated in more rural communities?
Yes, we have programs, like I said, we're in 25 states. So every program, I cannot say that two are alike in how they partner, when they deliver, the size of the team. We have some teams that are one and some teams that have been up to 150.
Wow.
Uh,
Okay.
we have some teams that see 6 kids and some teams that see 100 kids
Oh, wow.
every month.
Awesome.
We like you when you get started to pick one partner and really develop that relationship and try not to spread your. I would rather have 15 vet students and 2 kids than one vet student going to see 10 different sites and 100 kids because you're not going to build those relationships that way.
Yeah. Good deal. Awesome. All
Good
right.
questions.
So those are my questions. Are there any questions from the floor?
The floor. Maybe we should raise hands. So
Right. Or again, you can drop it in the chat. So some of the schools, I know have been programs at Davis and Mississippi. We've also found that just about many of the students who have um, been awarded like the Lowry Merck Scholarship or the more recent Chewy Scholarship program, typically have also been pretty involved in This Is How We Roll or Vetahumanz. That's been something that those programs are administered. The Lowry and Chewy programs are administered by AAVMC, and that's definitely something that I've seen over the years that you know, you're
that's
looking for
nice.
money. Those are some of the pathways to get there. Unabashedly commented on. So, all right. Any questions? No pressure. All right. Okay. Well, Dr. San Miguel, Pink Phoenix, complete with the shirt. Thank you for joining us tonight. I actually have my cape somewhere over here. Oh, there it is. Here it is. Look.
Put it on.
Oh,
Put
my
it
cape.
on before you stop the recording.
Okay. Like I got my cape. It's been a while since I've had it on. But here we go.
Oh yes.
There we go.
Yeah,
So
use your powers for good.
there you go. So be sure to tell a friend and join us next month. Next month, our session will feature, hold on, will feature Dr. Ken Gorska. He is a pseudo-retired vet because apparently vets don't really retire. None of the ones that I know that have said they retired, it's usually just their first retirement or their second, third, fourth retirement. But Dr. Gorska is a veterinarian in San Francisco. And a couple of years ago, he took on a new professional challenge as a death doula. And so we will be in conversation next month on October 15th at 7 p.m. Eastern. Was that 4 p.m. West Coast time, and all the things in the middle. And I'll be asking him some questions about that experience as a death doula, and helping pet guardians and parents and owners kind of help them through that transition, but also talking about some of the different types of things that he's had to kind of think about from the cultural perspective, since death rituals are really, really big across cultures. And so join us for that chat. And again, we'll be recording that as well. So tell a friend. We'd love to have more
Awesome.
folks. Yeah. Yeah. Tell a friend. Yes, yes, yes. And again, it's not just open to voice. Certainly, this is voice programming, but be sure to share widely. I do think that we'll have some more promo items for next month. We were kind of a little behind the curve getting ready for this particular session. So with that, if there are no questions, we will release you to the evening. Flutter, 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 and have a great rest of your week. And we'll see you next month.
All right. Take care. Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.